Jai Gurudev. We'll chant Om 3 times and then perhaps one of us can chant Guru Puja. Then we'll start the discussion. Is it okay?
Yes.
We'll start the beginning verse, the shloka, and then we'll start. So you could start Sahana Vavatu and then we'll start, okay? Jai Gurudev.
Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Gurudev.
Okay, what we'll do now is we'll share the PDF of chapter 17. Maybe we'll chant each shloka and then read the Tatparya also. Is that a good idea? Because we have more time today.
Excellent idea, Brahmaraj.
We'll do that? Okay. So let me share the PDF. 1 second. I think I'm finding it a bit difficult to share from my phone. Let me see what I can do.
Jai Gurudev Brahmaraji, for 1 hour I'll be able to share. 1 hour.
No, don't worry, Vela.
That,
I think you. No, you take rest. Just 1 minute. Let me just try one more time. Are you able to see the screen?
No.
Not yet, no?
No.
Okay, maybe we will need some help with this.
Yeah, I am trying, Brahmaraji. Just give me 2 minutes.
Meanwhile, Sheila ji, if you can chant the chapter 17 shlokas, meantime, from your book, that will be good.
Yeah, I'll. Shall I? Okay, someone is getting.
Brahmaraji, we both are starting to share screen.
No, Belaji, Brahmara is not able to open
No,
her.
I see Dr. Brahmara's screen when I started my screen share.
Okay, she must be trying. I don't know.
Not sure whether you're able to see the screen.
We were able to see, but now it has stopped, Brahmaraji.
The PDF.
Yeah, we are
Now?
able to. Yeah, we are able to
You're
see.
able to see now?
Yes.
Yeah? Chapter
But
17.
we started at the same time. My screen and your screen. I just logged off.
But are you people able to still see?
The font are very small.
Yes,
Okay, I
Prabhu.
will make it into, let me rotate the screen so that
You are sharing the screen, and from the same phone you are able to talk, Brahmaraji. This I have to learn.
I'm able
I
to.
cannot. My phone gets completely locked when I share the screen.
Okay, let me see if I can. I should make the thing. Okay. You people continue. Sheila ji, start the chanting, please, from your book. Let me log in from my iPhone.
Yeah, I will try.
Brahmaraji, otherwise I will share 17th chapter.
You can share. How are you feeling? Are you feeling better today?
Yeah, only headache. I have fever, but I take Panadol now and antibiotic. So only headache is too much.
Okay.
Shall
Fine.
I
So then, will you be able to share? Let me try from my iPhone. We'll start with the introduction then of chapter 17. We'll do the PDF.
Yeah, can you see all of you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
Clear.
ma'am.
Be clear.
kindly go ahead reading.
Oh, the text has to be read. Okay.
You want me to read it? I can read that, or somebody is reading.
Yeah, please go ahead, Dr. Mara.
Sure. Chapter 17. Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. Yoga of threefold Shraddha. Introduction. In the last verse of the last chapter, it was said, therefore, with reference to knowing what is to be done and what is not to be done, Shastra is the means of knowledge for you. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Vyavastito. Even though common sense gives rise to the knowledge of what is right and wrong, it is, right and wrong, still we do not find people doing what is right and refraining from what is wrong. It is, oh, what happened?
I'm sharing screen from my other phone. Just wait a minute, huh?
Oh, okay.
Are you able to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I had to kind of make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, if we can move, that would be helpful. Thanks. So I was reading. I should. Okay. Even though, oh, we went. Okay. Even though common sense gives rise to the knowledge of what is right and wrong, still we do not find people doing what is right and refraining from what is wrong. It is not out of ignorance. Everybody knows stealing, for example, is wrong. But there are thieves, and the thief also knows that stealing is wrong because he does not want his own goods to be stolen. Furthermore, when he steals, he uses stealth because he knows it's not proper. Therefore, I would say his knowledge of impropriety of stealing is not completely assimilated. He knows that his property should not be stolen and that another person does not want his property to be stolen. He knows what he gains and he knows the risk involved. At the same time, he does not know what he loses if he steals. Only by Shastra can we understand this properly. Okay. We cannot escape the consequences of an action because the faculty of choice and the law of karma go together. Choice presupposes a set of norms that determine which option we choose. We must understand this well. I can steal or I need not. I can hurt or I can refrain from hurting. I can tell a lie or I can tell the truth. I can give or I need not. Once this choice is there, on what basis do I make it? Choice means the possibility of right and wrong, and this also should be known to me. I must be able to gather an understanding of what is right and wrong, and I am able to through a common sense that has been given to all of us. This universal sense of right and wrong is what is called dharma. It is known to everyone without being taught. It is sensed by all of us commonly like any other natural law. Without knowing the law of gravity, even a baby monkey knows that it will fall to the ground if it lets go of its mother while she is swinging through the trees. Like this, the law of gravitation, this law of dharma, right and wrong, which is commonly sensed, is also not created by us. So this law of dharma, right and wrong, which is commonly sensed, is also not created by us. This is very important thing to understand. If it is man-made, it can always be different. In America, we drive on the right side of the road, and in India, on the left. Taxation, what constitutes a crime? Punishment for crimes is all man-made. These laws are different from the dharmika fabric, the law of right and wrong that is part of the creation. This law of dharma already exists and is known to me. And I have a faculty of choice called free will, with which I'm going to choose an action. If I choose an action which is in keeping with or is against the law of dharma, that very law must impact me appropriately. If I go against a law, then I must experience the friction it causes. If I act in keeping with the laws, I must experience the result of that. This is how laws are. If an object is dropped from a height, it will fall, no matter what the object is. That is the law. The law, which we call the law of dharma, at the level of choice, and the law of karma at the level of action is the same. There is no way you can escape from a natural law, unlike a law created by man. You can always avoid the sight of traffic officer and drive 75 miles an hour. There you can avoid deduction and therefore the consequences. But you cannot avoid the deduction or the result of an action, which is against a natural law. If you have any doubt, touch a live wire and you will understand. Even if you are in charge of the hydroelectric scheme, you will be electrocuted. No one is exempt from natural law. If you touch fire, you will be burnt. And similarly, if you rub against the law, you will be rubbed in the process. This law of karma is centered on the law of dharma and is connected to your free will, your sense of doership, kartrutva. This is the unique privilege of human being. Other living beings, including gods, are only equipped to experience karma, not to generate any new karma pala, because they have no free will. Where there is a sense of agency, kartritva, there should be a freedom to choose. Okay, I think there may be one more paragraph, then we can discuss it. You have the freedom to perform an action or avoid it. When you can avoid an action that should be avoided, but you still do it, definitely get the result. Why do people cut corners when they know what dharma is? Because they do not know what they stand to lose. They know very well what they gain. By robbing somebody, I get some money, and it is very clear to me what money can do for me. But what I lose, I do not know, and that is where Shastra educates me. It tells me that there is such a thing as a law of karma, which generates an unseen result. Adhistapala. Adhistapala. For every action, and it also tells me what is to be done and not to be done. Shastra, the scripture, is the means of knowledge for this. Krishna tells Arjuna in the last verse of the previous chapter, therefore, with reference to knowing what is to be done and what is not to be done, Shastra is the means of knowledge for you. This becomes the basis of a doubt for Arjuna. He raises the following question.
So, amongst the gods, animals, and human beings, it is only human beings who have this faculty of choice, according to what Swamiji has mentioned, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Because we have this kartritva, um, this faculty of choice gives us this kartritva, and whenever we have this, there is this element of karma phala,
Mm-hmm.
and we all know what dharma is. Common sense, it is,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
that is to do what is to be done and not to do what is not to be done, right? But
Mm-hmm.
why do we cut corners? So beautifully Swamiji has explained, because we know what we gain. Like a thief knows that if he robs, he's going to gain some wealth, but he does not know in the bargain what he's going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
He does not know what he stands to lose. That is the adrishta phala.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what Shastra tells us. That is why Shastra is required for us to understand uh, the laws of karma, to
Mm-hmm.
explain to us what is to be done, what is not to be done. I
Right.
mean, if anybody else wants to share, please, we'll go ahead and then we'll go to the stanza.
Yeah, like that flow of things, right? Law of karma and law of dharma. Then the we have that free will, the faculty of choice, free will in the kartritva bhavana. That kind of results into the karma phala. That could be known result or unknown result. In Shastras, I don't know where I read it, maybe in the following things that where it like we kind of follow. I think that I think it will come with the verses. I think where the Shraddha, like we do things with Shraddha, but we don't know exactly what the Shastra says, how to worship or do whatever. So that's where the question came about what kind of guna, what is the basis of this Shraddha, like how they're doing, like different people do the sattvic the gunas, 3 gunas of how they do it. Are you having difficulty projecting it, or you want me to? Let me see if I can.
I just want to use the same phone to project everything.
Oh,
So I'm able to share. No problem. 1 second.
I can hold on.
I don't know why only half of it is seen.
1 second, let me try to share my screen. You guys want to read it, it's fine. Anybody wants to do it also, fine. I can help you with that. Let me see if I could get this download. I just downloaded today the 17 chapter.
Is that what you are showing?
Not me. This is the one you want me to read?
Yeah, we're doing chapter 17. Okay, you know what? I thought I will just log off from this. Don't worry. I will.
Jai Gurudev. In the meantime, just to avoid the blank thing, may I read some shlokas from the 17th chapter?
Is this your screen, Dr. Mara?
Yeah, you can see it now.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're able to.
Okay, so we were reading. Anybody wants to share anything? Then we can do that. Okay, now it came to things. Okay.
Yeah, each of us can enlarge the screen ourselves, I think.
Okay, if you could, that would be helpful. Because my screen
yeah.
doesn't show
No
that.
problem. No problem.
Okay. So basically, in the last 3 paragraphs, what you explained is pretty much what it is. Like you need to know what the law of karma, and there's the law of dharma, and the kartatva bhavana, and why shastra is the means of knowledge. That reason you gave me about the thief story. So those are the points in here. Should we go to the sloka, the verse?
Yeah, we'll go to the shloka.
Okay.
And if we remember, it is this adrishta phala, to gain this adrishta phala, is when we also do prayers, isn't it?
Yeah, there's two palas, right? Drishta pala and the
Adrishtapala.
pala.
So, if I remember right, earlier in the introduction, Swamiji had mentioned the reason, the importance of prayer is to gain this adrishta phala, is to seek to get the adrishta phala. Like he gives the example of the putra kameshti yaga, where the king and the queen don't beget any kids.
Right.
So they do this homa, the yaga, whatever, to get this adrishta phala. They've tried everything, they're not able to get. So then they seek the grace of Lord through the prayer. So this adrishta phala actually could be a result of your good karma that is still not manifest. So that is why following a dharmic life is important, no matter what. We are not doing it for the adrishta phala, but we're doing it because it is the right way of living.
Right way of doing it, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
So,
Sheila ji, you want to chant the shloka?
yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Arjuna Uvacha Ye Shastra Vidhimusrujya Yajante Shraddhayamvitaha Teshan Nishtha Ka Krishna Sattva Rajastamaha.
Arjuna Uvacha said, Krishna, O Krishna, those Sastra Vidim, Sastra Vidim, what is stipulated by the Sastra? Utsujya, giving up to, but Shraddhaya, with Shraddha, Anvitaha, endowed, Yajayante, perform rituals, Tesham, their, Nishta, basis, Ka, what, Sattvam, Sattva, Aho, or Rajas, and or Tamas. Arjuna said, O Krishna, those who perform a ritual, giving up what is stipulated by the Shastra, but endowed with Shraddha, what is their basis? Is it Sattva or Rajas or Tamas? Shall I go further, or you guys want to discuss anything? Arjuna's question. This is a very interesting question. Arjuna addresses this question to Krishna and asks, what about a certain group of people who offer worship or prayer to the deities without following the various stipulations laid down in the Shastra about how they are to be done, and what is the basis of such rituals? Is it Sattva, Rajas, or Tamas? In the Shruti, the Vedas, and the supporting Smritis, we have varieties of forms of worship with the rules about how they are to be done. Suppose there are some people who do a Vedic ritual like Agnihotra or a Smarta Karma like puja, prayer, or any action where a deity is invoked, but do not follow the stipulations of the Shastra. Shastra Vidim Utsarja Yajante, giving up the stipulations of Shastra, they perform these rituals. Here, the word Utsarja means not only giving up, but also not following exactly or completely. We cannot say they don't follow Shastra. Otherwise, we wouldn't call it worship. They follow a number of rules, but they do not follow meticulously all of them that are stipulated by the Shastra. In a ritual to worship a particular deity, there is no immediate result. Generally, we take shortcuts only when there is an immediate result, and we are under some pressure to complete the action. But here, nobody pressures me to offer a prayer or perform a ritual. I can do it or I need not do it. I know this is an act of worship because the Shastra tells me, and it also tells me the manner in which it has to be done. Why should I do it without following the prescribed method? After all, I need not do it at all. When I have chosen to do it, why would I not follow all the rules? Why should anybody perform a ritual without following the rules? There are two possibilities. One is that they do not know. That is often the case with puja or other rituals. People know it is to be done, but have learned how to do it from seeing it done, either by people in the family or elsewhere. They just follow the convention, achara, without studying further. Why? Because of Shraddha. They perform the worship following convention because they have Shraddha. But they do not know all the stipulations and therefore do not follow them. The other possibility is that a person knows the stipulations but does not follow them. In that case, there is no Shraddha. Why do they do the ritual then? Only for some name or fame. The people under discussion here, however, do have Shraddha. Arjuna wonders what is their nishtha, their basis for operation, their commitment. What is the disposition of their antakarana in terms of three gunas? Is sattva the basis of their operation or rajas or tamas? Shankara says the question is whether the worship they offer is sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. There are different types of worship depending on who is worshipped and the attitude and intent of the worshipper. Ravana's prayer and black magic, which is also a prayer, or tamasic. Of which type is an act of worship not done in the specified way, but with Shraddha. Krishna can answer this in one sentence and say it is Sattvika. But Arjuna's question arises from his incomplete understanding of the nature of the Shraddha. Shankara introduces the answer of Bhagavan by saying that one should not answer a general question on a subject without dividing it into the component parts in order to make it more specific. This is a very important thing in understanding any topic. If someone goes to a doctor complaining that he is in pain, the doctor will ask specific questions to find the location and the nature of the pain. This is called pravibhaga. You keep on negating until you localize the problem. Shraddha is three types when looked at on the basis of the gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. The topic of this whole chapter is the division of the threefold Shraddha. Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. The type of Shraddha a person has is going to decide even his eating habits and a number of other things. Thus, the various manifestation of different types of Shraddha are also going to be told in this chapter.
So, can we just understand Arjuna's question again? Can someone explain that? Because I was not there for chapter 16.
Okay. Okay. The
Mm.
question
I
is
didn't
like,
quite understand the question.
yeah, the question he asked, like, you have to go to the previous chapter. At the end of the previous chapter, Bhagavan says that, 1 second. You see this one here with reference to the last chapter. So he says, what is to be done, what is not to be done. Shastra is means of knowledge for you. If you go to, I don't have the sloka from the 16th chapter. If you have a book or something, let me quickly tell you 1 second.
I'm getting it from the PDF. 1 second.
Okay.
It is,
This
is it shloka number 17,
23 and
18,
24.
19?
23 and 24, he asked, Yaha Shastra Vidim Usirjya
Huh.
Kama Kara.
Yeah, yaha shastra vidhi mritsrijya vartate kamakarataha nasa siddhima vapnoti na sukham na parangatim.
So what it means is like, you're not going to get nothing if you don't follow the Shastra, right?
Yeah, the thing is, the one who, being impelled by binding desire, engages himself casting away the injunctions of Shastra, gains neither maturity nor happiness here, nor a higher end.
Right. The Siddhim is the knowledge or Sukham, and the Paragati is the Mukti, right? So those three things, they're not going to gain anything if they're not doing, and then they're doing by the Kama Karataha is like.
Kama Karataha, right.
Yeah, Karataha, because they are indulged in their own desires. That is not going to help them. And the 24th one is Tasmat
That
Shastra. Yeah, go ahead if you want to read that.
Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastitau Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartu Miharhasi.
See, so basically, so therefore the scriptures is the norm. The Pramanam is like the Shastra Vida, that is the norm for what should be done. That was this Kartum Harsi and Karya. I don't know the meaning. If you read it, it will tell you.
Yeah. So the meaning.
Karya Vyavastitau is in determining what should be done, what not to be done. That's the same sentence we read here. Tasma Sastram Pramanam Te Karya Vyavastitau. So basically, by knowing these two things, Arjuna asking question in this chapter is that by those who perform the ritual, giving up what is stipulated by Shastra, but endowed with Shraddha, what is their basis? Do they, what kind of people will do this kind of rituals or prayer? Or that is his question. So what kind of people? So then it applies to those three gunas. So what kind of people, like sattvic people or rajasic people, tamasic people. So in the end, Shankara says, you can't ask, if you ask general question like that, we can't make one answer. So he wants to make it threefold Shraddha. So that's, based on the gunas.
Yeah. So what is bottom line is whatever is there in the Shastras has to be followed. That is one.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. But keeping that aside, there are threefold Shraddhas. It could be either sattvic, it could be rajasic or tamasic, isn't it?
Yes, it will come in the following verses, but this
Because,
particular verse is
yeah,
asking that question: what basis are they having the Shraddha, and who
huh,
are doing it, who are doing it? And then in the Swamiji is kind of explaining it like most people doing it, the ritual or worship based on their convention, like following their family or something, they what they have seen with Shraddha. And then that's one group. The other group where they are, which is probably, that's what I am, or most of us maybe. But then there is other people who really know all the Shastra, but they're not doing it. They're not meticulously following it. Why? That was the question, right? That they're not doing it because they don't have Shraddha. They do it because of the name and fame. So that's why. So here, the people under discussion here, however, do have Shraddha. That's where we are. So anybody wants to add to that, go ahead. So Dr. Brahmarasa, you got it right, like in the end that
yeah,
Shankara
yeah.
saying,
I
and
went
then
through, correct.
yeah, the last page. If you want me to read it, anything, you let me know.
No, that's fine. You can go ahead to verse 2.
Okay. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Trivida. Oh, I don't know this song, but I mean the rhythm. If Sheila ji want to read, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Mam Shrunu. Beautiful. Yes, Brahmanaji.
Yeah.
Pratipad. Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Yeah. Shri Bhagavan Vacha said, Dehinam, for the embodied beings, Swabhaja, with that which is born of the nature of the mind, Sas Shraddha, that Shraddha, Satvika, Rajascha Eva, and Rajasika, Tamasicha, and Tamasika, Iti, thus, Trivida Bhavati is threefold. Tam Shrinu, listen to that. Threefold Shraddha. Sri Bhagavan said, the Shraddha of the embodied beings is born of the nature of the mind. So the Shraddha of the embodied beings is born of the nature of the mind. As Sattvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika, it is threefold. Listen to that. The threefold Shraddha. Shraddha is one, but the shades of differences in its nature can be viewed as threefold, Trivida. Like bread is one, but then there are different types of bread, French, sourdough, etc. Unlike bread, however, Shraddha is not an external object. It is in your mind alone. Though you may call it faith, Shraddha is more than that. It is the whole person. Shraddha is not your belief system, but your whole attitude towards life, your attitude towards your body, towards wealth, towards people, towards acts of worship, food, altruistic acts like charity, etc. All these have implications for your Shraddha towards Ishvara. Even how a person dresses, reveals so much about his or her value structure and attitudes. It can be ostentatious, sloppy, and tasteless, or neat and refined. From the very dress, we can understand whether he is Sattvika, a thinking person who has some values and really wants to know something more, whether there is some depth to the person. The whole demeanor of the person, his actions, the way in which he keeps the house, all indicate the type of Shraddha he has towards everything in life. It overflows from inside into everything you do. Shraddha is not outside, it is in your thinking, your understanding, your value structure, your priorities. Again, it is in your thinking, your understanding, and your value structure and your priorities. All these are implied, and thus it is not an ordinary word. Therefore, we have a whole chapter dedicated to understanding Shraddha. For whom is the Shraddha? Dehinam. For those who have a body, a human body. The individual human being is one who has this threefold Trivida Shraddha. What determines the type of Shraddha a person will have? It is born out of the nature of Antakarana. Therefore, it is Swabhava, Swabhavaja, Swabhavaja. The type of
Swabhavaja.
Swabhavaja,
Swabhava is our nature. Ja
nature.
is born of. So
Oh, Aja is
Swabhavaja.
born.
Yeah.
Swabhava.
Swabhavaja. Yeah.
Okay, got it. The type of mind you have determines the type of Shraddha you have. That is more appropriate. That is more appropriate than considering that one is born with certain propensities that determine his Shraddha. Then you may consider that you are Rajasika or Tamasika by nature and have to resign yourself to that. It is not like that, because one can become Sattvika. The whole teaching is meant to make you Sattvika, not to categorize people. Therefore, the meaning of Swabhava here is the nature of the Antakarana. The meaning of Swabhava is the nature of Antakarana. There are three types of Shraddha depending on the nature of the Antakarana, the mind one has, in which one can bring about a change. Before going into detail about three types of Shraddha, Krishna makes a general statement about Shraddha and the person. Okay. So if you want to summarize the second.
Yeah. Please do that. Because I think the first paragraph is so important.
Yeah.
So beautiful. It is not a belief system. It is your whole attitude to life.
Right. Basically we need to understand what the Shraddha means. Like this whole paragraph is, this Swamiji is kind of dwelling on it so much, like it's not just the word, it's not just the faith, just more than that. And he had given many times, what is all included in that Shraddha and how one person presents themselves and whatnot. If you want me to read it, I'll read it again, but basically,
please read again, because I
yeah,
think this kind of summarizes the whole
this is
the different aspects that he describes later.
Exactly. So this understanding is more important.
More important, correct.
Yeah, it's very like the more you read it, like you want to know, you really want to
Yeah.
enjoy this thing in your mind. Like he said,
And-
it's not external, it's not internal, it's the whole thing, it's the whole person.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Please read this first para again, Dr. Mara.
Sure, I will.
Are you okay to continue?
Oh, no problem. I think I'm
Okay.
better now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
No problem. I think all of us are somewhat under weather lately, but I kind of cooling through.
Yeah, thank you. There is
Well,
some background noise here because I'm in the room. There's another roommate here.
no, I am
So
fine. I'm not
I don't
hearing.
want that to be disturbing.
No, okay. Shraddha is one, but the shades of differences in its nature can be viewed as threefold. Trivida. Like bread is one, but then there are different types of bread. French, sourdough, etc. Unlike bread, however, Shraddha is not an external object. It is in your mind alone. Though you may call it faith, Shraddha is more than that. It is the whole person. Shraddha is not your belief system, but your whole attitude towards life. Your attitude towards your body, towards wealth, towards people, toward acts of worship, food, altruistic acts like charity, etc. All these have implications for your Shraddha towards Ishvara. So all these have implications for your Shraddha towards Ishvara. Even how a person dresses reveals so much about his or her value structure and attitudes. It can be ostentatious, sloppy, and tasteless, or neat and refined. From the very dress, we can understand whether he is sattvic, a thinking person who has some values and really wants to know something more, whether there is some depth to the person. The whole demeanor of the person, his actions, the way in which he keeps the house, all indicate the type of Shraddha he has towards everything in life. It overflows from inside into everything you do. Shraddha is not outside, it is in your thinking, your understanding, your value structure, your priorities. So, this is the important line. So, that it is not outside, it is in your thinking. So, the thought process, understanding, value structure, and priorities. All these are implied, and thus it is not an ordinary word. Therefore, we have a whole chapter dedicated to understanding Shraddha.
Can you repeat that sentence again, please?
Sure.
The last sentence.
Yeah, the Shraddha is not outside, it is in your thinking, it is the mind, your understanding, which is in the buddhi, and the value structure. So, all it's in your mind, how you value things, and your priorities, and how you prioritize all those things we talked earlier, like food and wealth and all kinds of people, worship, everything, attitude, things like that. And so Shraddha is not outside, it is in your thinking, your understanding, your value structure, your priorities. All these are implied, and thus it is not an ordinary word. Therefore, we have a whole chapter dedicated to understanding Shraddha.
This is so very profound, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So
Like
anyone
I'm just
yeah.
I'm taking Bela's example here. Now that
Mhm.
Bela is actually unwell, her
Yeah.
priority would be to take care of her body. Of course, her commitment is so good that she's so strong that in spite of that, she was sharing screen yesterday and day before.
Yeah.
That is kudos to her. But ideally speaking, maybe prioritizing the body there would have been ideal, isn't it? So I'm glad that you were able to share screen today, so giving her some rest. That is good. But
Definitely.
very often we tend to sideline the body in putting up commitments. I think that is where that self-care is important.
It is. Yeah.
I'm talking for myself as a doctor. There are so many times when, of course, call of duty is there and you go without sleep. But for me, I've taken it in my stride and saying, my body can push on without lack of enough rest. But actually, when I stop and look back, I guess I should prioritize rest over other things. Then I will be respecting my body. I think that is where I should stop, pause, and then think about it. So a bit of self-care is important to take care of your body.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if something is bothering you, then you're not going to be able to concentrate
Correct.
clearly on the given task, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you can do it still,
And
but yeah.
and Bhagwan also says, no, what is that in, I think, chapter 4 or 6, he says, what is that? That says balance in everything, in activity, rest, and food. I'm not getting that shloka.
Yeah, no,
Yukta ahara viharasya.
Yukta, thank you, Shilaji. Yukta hara viharasya, yukta swapnavache, yukta hara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnava bodhasya, yoga yogo bhavati dukkhaha. So I think a balance in everything, in activity, rest, food, entertainment, all of this, I think balance is the key.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is, you have to learn and digest and then apply, put it in practice is a 3 steps process.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Anyone else wants to share anything?
Yeah, along with Shraddha, even Dhruti is there. For Belaji and Dr. Mara and Dr. Brahmara too.
All of us, it's the thing like, yeah, I mean,
yeah, we are practicing it now.
yeah.
I think Bela, in spite of her having fever, headache, and all that, she had prioritized the Zoom class over her body, which is really exemplary.
Yeah.
But in case there are others, that's why I messaged her separately. I said, if you're not able to, please message so that anybody else will share, so that she could rest her body and then.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, everybody wants like a high fever and things like that. You don't want to. You want to take care of that first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really. I didn't know that at the end of the thing only I came to know. Otherwise, I would have offered. I didn't even know. I only just learned it at the spur of the moment. Okay, let me see. I can share the screen.
Yeah. See, good. You were able to share screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shall we continue, or should we continue another 2 shlokas?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know.
I'll leave it to the whole group.
Yeah. It's 8 o'clock now, but
yeah, it's 8 o'clock. Maybe we'll do one more. Atmabodh, we'll do after we finish chapter 17. Nana himself is going to revise that. So, meantime, maybe on our own, we can revise that on our own.
Okay. Can
maybe
somebody
2 classes.
Tattvabodha and Atmabodha once again, just bring it forward, no, where it is hiding in the WhatsApp messages.
Okay. Yeah.
It should be
And
under the group description, right?
Jnanavali Mala, Brahma Jnanavali Mala, we were supposed to do once you were out of the silence.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that. So, Dr. Mara, will you go ahead? Sheila ji chant the next shloka, then we'll do
Yeah.
chapter shloka 3, and then we'll maybe call it a day.
Okay.
Yes, please. Jai Gurudev. Tattva sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata Shraddha mayoyam purusho yo yachraddha sa eva saha. Yeah, Pratipada. Padartha. Yeah.
Okay. You want to read that?
This is
Pratipadartha.
descendant of Bharat. O descendant of Bharat, Arjuna, Sarvasya, of everyone, Shraddha, Sattva Anurupa, in keeping with the mind, Bhavati, is Ayam Purushaha, this person, Shraddhamaya, who is permitted by Shraddha, Yat Shraddha, he who, whatever Shraddha he has, Sa eva saha, he is that Shraddha alone. Yes, Dr. Mara.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, descendant of Bharata, descendant of Bharata, Arjuna, Shraddha of everyone is in keeping with his mind. So Shraddha of everyone is in keeping with his mind. This person who is permeated by Shraddha, whatever is his Shraddha, he conforms to that Shraddha. So that's a Shraddha Maya. Right?
Yeah, basically it is to do with his antakarana, no?
Yeah,
His
Antakarana
value
is
system.
basically the mind, right? I mean, whatever, so your mind is permeated with Shraddha. Whatever his Shraddha is conformed to that Shraddha.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So it's much beyond the belief system. It is his thinking process, his attitudes, his value system, his understanding.
Yeah, and the priorities.
And priorities, yeah.
The person is permeated by his Shraddha. Though Shraddha is commonly translated as faith, since it is so much more than that, as we have seen, let us leave it untranslated. Sattva is not the guna, but the antakarana, the mind. So though Shraddha is commonly translated as faith, since it is so much more than that, as we have seen, let us leave it untranslated. Sattva here is not the guna, but the antakarana, the mind. A person's Shraddha is sattva anurupa. A person's Shraddha is sattva anurupa. That is, according to the disposition of his mind, its tendencies, and the value structure. It assumes a form in keeping with the type of mind you have. And it can be changed, for the mind means thinking, and once your thinking is changed, everything is changed. The cognitive change will bring about a change in your attitude, and that will have an impact on your Shraddha. the tendencies and understandings you have all determine the type of Shraddha you have. Can I read this again? Because it's kind of a little tough paragraph. Though Shraddha is commonly translated as faith, since it is so much more than that, as we have seen, let us leave it untranslated. Sattva here is not the guna, but the antakarana, the mind. A person's Shraddha is sattva anurupa. That is, according to the disposition of his mind, its tendencies, value structure. It assumes a form in keeping with the type of mind you have. So it does have a form, the type of mind you have, and it can be changed. The mind, for the mind means thinking. Once your thinking is changed, everything is changed. The cognitive change will bring about a change in your attitude, and that will have an impact on your Shraddha. The tendencies and understanding you have all determine the type of Shraddha you have. A person is permeated by his
So I think this Sattvanurupa is, it is not Satvika here. The Sattvanurupa is that which is in sync with your Antakarna, with the nature of your mind.
Right, with the
It
nature
is
of the
transparent.
mind.
Basically, yeah, whatever is in your mind, it
If
takes
you
that
change
form.
your mind, yeah, your
Yeah.
all will change.
Like
Your
how
attitude will change.
Angulimala, before he
Mhm.
turned saint, there was a change of attitude, and then automatically his Shraddha changed.
Right.
So once you change your attitude, your mind, then everything changes.
The person is permeated by his Shraddha, Purusha Shraddha Maya, Shraddha Maya, Purusha Shraddha Maya. Whatever the type of Shraddha he has, that is exactly what he is. Here, the suffix Maya, in the word Shraddha Maya, is in the sense of prachurya, saturation. So Shraddha Maya is in the sense of prachurya, is saturation. The person is nothing but an expression of his Shraddha. Oh. Shankara makes it clear that Purusha here is the individual, the samsari, jiva, and not Atma. Whatever a person's Shraddha is, that is what he is. If his Shraddha is Sattvika, he will be Sattvika, and so on. All his activities, his whole life, will be the manifestation of his Shraddha. Shall I go forward? Forget the term Shraddha for the time being and just think about what determines the expression of one's life. Okay, what determines the expression of one's life? It is going to be in terms of one's value structure and priorities. Suppose you ask someone to go to a movie and he says he has no time because he has to play bridge. The priorities are clear. One is more important for him than the other. Another person may go with you, another may not because he is going to be going to the ashrama. I see this all the time when I give public talks. If they are for 3 nights, I will never get the same people the second night, even though I deliberately leave them with a cliffhanger. There is no way they can figure out the topic I am going to unfold, and yet they do not come the next night. Why? Priorities. Some other engagement was more important, a dinner, a concert, etc. Even if God were to come, he would have to wait for the one more day, wait for one more day. A person is nothing but his priorities. So why? That is why you have to understand how important it is. The whole change takes place only when priorities change. That rearrangement as to which is more important, which is less important, really brings about the change in the person that sets him in a new direction. That prioritizing of values and pursuits indicates the type of thinking a person has, the type of Shraddha he has. And therefore, Bhagavan makes a sweeping statement here, which is applicable to any person anywhere. Whatever is a person's Shraddha, he is indeed a personification of that Shraddha. That is, he conforms to that Shraddha. Yo yat Shraddha sa eva chaha. So, that value system, priorities, thinking, understanding, value system, value structure, and priorities. Those four things are important in this part. So the last sentence is, therefore, Bhagavan makes a sweeping statement here, which is applicable to any person anywhere. Whatever is a person's Shraddha, he is indeed the personification of that Shraddha. That is, he conforms to that Shraddha. Yo yat Shraddha cha evaha. Sa eva sakha. What is that? Sa eva. He is that alone. Okay. All right. So, so in Balaji, are you okay? Anybody want to comment?
Yeah. It just reminded me of the example of Pundarik. In the Pandharpur, he was so much. He had Shraddha in the doing seva for his parents. And once Bhagwan had come at his doorstep, even Bhagwan had to wait because he was busy with his parents serving. So I think it's so nicely Bhagwan is mentioning that your Shraddha makes you what you are.
Yeah.
And it gives so much of clarity, this thinking.
Yes.
If you remember Bela in Rajima's one of her videos, she was explaining once that the election commissioner had come home. Rajima is one of our senior teachers. When time permits, we'll all watch her Bhagavatam and her discourse on Gita and Ashtavakra Gita. She had mentioned the election commissioner had come home to her house. Her husband was a high-ranking officer in the government then. Her husband was not there at home, but it was time for her to put her children to sleep. So apparently, she got him, she let him sit inside, gave him whatever to eat, drink or whatever. She said, give me some time, I have to put my children to sleep and then I'll come back. So she first put her kids to sleep and then came to entertain him till her husband came back.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes of the Shraddha. She had her priorities right. She had the guest can, of course, she's given him his right place, she's shown him Maryada and everything, but at that point, no one else can do her job, right? Putting her kids to sleep.
Yeah.
So
we have to understand our own.
Yeah. So unless you're so strong in your value system, you've understood your priorities right, what is to be done, what is not to be done, what is to be prioritized. Only that can guide your thinking process into doing right. If she was Satvika, her Shraddha was Satvika. Supposing she was a Rajasika Shraddha person, she
Yeah.
will think, oh, what will this election commissioner think if I don't spend time with him? So she would subjugate her kids maybe and entertain him, isn't it?
That is true.
So all these small aspects make, that is why what Swamiji said in the first paragraph make it even more important. Everything, every step of how you do,
Yeah. Yeah. And I
including
think
the way we.
yeah, understanding is a lot more important. Even today, like, I was started reading 17 chapters since I know that we don't have the Nanaji's class today. So I started reading, and then I kind of double-minded, okay, should I do this or continue reading what I'm doing now? Then I said, no, I don't want to give up manana class. I'm sure, I know there you weren't well, and Bella is not well, and I wasn't sure what was going on. Let me take a look again. So I came back. That was, that kind of the choice we make, we have to look at all the options and see what is right thing to do at that moment. I'm glad I'm with you guys, and otherwise I'll be simply reading myself, but sharing with you, it's even more nicer.
Yeah, we
That
have
is
all
the
learned.
importance of manana, no? Yeah, go ahead, Bela.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have learned the commitment from you only, Brahmaraji. I mean,
Yeah.
when I have, I mean, your company has taught us so much. It is like,
No, in fact, what I wanted to share, Nana did not want too much of a break. So he was very happy when, Bela, you came forward and we could continue the Zoom class and not wait till, give a long break. So he was very happy that way. So
yeah,
that speaks again volumes, no, of
yeah,
the
his
commitment he
teaching
has
and
to
his
complete.
blessing. It's
Yeah,
only his
he also
true.
was
teaching.
very committed, and he was time and again reminding me that you're not going to have class tomorrow with the India time and the US time and all that. I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
such an
yeah.
extent. That was really nice of him, Anyway, so anybody else wants to comment? We did the third one right now. Okay.
Did you have your dinner, Dr. Mara?
Yeah, I had some fruit and all, because I'm kind of a little bit on isolation because of the COVID. That I didn't make it
Okay.
to India at all. So,
I know. I'm sorry
hmm,
about that.
yeah.
No, but if you want to take a break, we can stop here. We'll continue tomorrow because I don't want you to strain yourself also.
No, it's okay. I mean, just we are reading and it's more of knowledge to your mind, like 1 hour, 2
Yeah,
hours, we are spending time. It's just good. Because without understanding going further, it's a little bit harder,
yeah,
That's
correct.
I think we get some time today to, it makes us think more about, okay, I have to focus more here, and
Yeah,
that's what I think the knowledge. Yeah. You want me to
that
read
is
the
true.
fourth sloka?
If you can, go ahead and read.
Yeah. Ajante Satvika Devan Yaksharakam Iksharaka Rakshasa.
Uh,
You
do you
want to?
want someone to help you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sheila ji, if you're there, can you read that?
I will read it. Which one?
The
Okay.
fourth verse.
You want me?
Mm.
Madhuriji is reading.
Okay, good.
Okay, I'll
I
continue.
haven't seen it.
Sorry.
Fourth verse, no? Yeah. Yajante satvika devan yaksha rakshansi rajasaha pretan bhuta gananshanye yajante tamasa janaha. Satvika janaha, the sattvic people, the devas yajante worship. Rajasaha, Rajasic people, Yaksha Rakshansi, Yaksha and Rakshas, Anye, others, Tapasaha, Tapasaha, Tamas, Pretan, ghosts, Bhutaganan, and the Bhutaganas Yajante worship. The Sattvic people worship the Devas, Rajasic people worship the Yaksha and Rakshasas, and the other Tamasic people worship ghosts and Bhutaganas. Jai Guru. Maharaji, can you go ahead?
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. Threefold Shraddha: Sattvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. From different standpoints, we can see what kind of Shraddha a person has, whether Sattva, Rajas, or Tamas. One way of determining this is by the deities he worships. So from the beginning, from different standpoints, we can see what kind of Shraddha a person has, whether Sattva, Rajas, or Tamas. One way of determining this is by the deities he worships. If he worships the Devas like Indra, Varuna, and Agni, who are mentioned in the Vedas, or Brahma, Vishnu, or Shiva, his Shraddha is Sattvika. Then there are those who worship a Yaksha, a certain kind of celestial, or a Rakshasas, a goblin, or a spirit. Their worship is considered Rajasika. And those who invoke pretas, ghosts, or harmful spirits to worship have a Shraddha, that is Tamasika. A preta is the departed soul of a person who did not follow proper conduct during his life and has to exist in that form for some time before he proceeds. These are the ones worshipped by people who do black magic, and such worship reflects a Shraddha, that is Tamasika. In prescribing what is to be done, Vidhi, and what is not to be done, Nisheda. The Veda follows a method of stating a general rule, Utsarga, and negating or qualifying it, Apavada. For example, it is general rule and no one should hurt another living thing. It says, him sam na kuryet. Okay, this shouldn't be hurting, but then it says one should hurt another living thing. No one should. So himsam na kuryet. But where there is justice involved, himsa is allowed. Somebody is hanged because he committed a homicide. Thus, there is no rule which does not have an exception, not even the rules of Bhagavan. There is no rule which does not have an exception. Okay. There are general rules in the Shastra about how the various devas like Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, or Indra, Varuna, Agni, etc. are to be worshipped. From this standpoint, a form of worship may or may not be said to be Sattvika. But even among who worship the devas, only a rare one is committed to Sattva, and thus a Sattvika form of worship, says Sankara. Now Krishna uses the criterion of the motive of the worship to classify it as Sattvika or Rajasika or Tamasika. Among the many who are committed to the worship of the gods and so on, only some are based in Sattva. Of these, some are jignashus, who want only antakarana shuddhi. In order to gain knowledge of their identity with Ishvara as a result of the worship of the devas, according to the prescribed vidhi. This kind of worship is surely sattvika. But generally, most people who are committed to the specific results of prayer that are offered to these devatas are generally given to Rajasika or Tamasika worship. Why? Because they seek power and other ignoble ends within samsara through the worship. Okay, there are several things mentioned here. You guys want to tease out on it?
I think it is already in line with what Bhagavan said previously, right? The Sattvika thing. It is already in line with what Bhagavan said previously. Antakarana Shuddhi and Sattvika Guna.
Yeah, the sattva is antakarana shuddhi, right? Oh, Jesus, this 1 second. Yeah. So my question is whether are we so what rules are we supposed to be follow? You know, they say, I mean, as per Shastra, I'm not sure, like, I mean, we are doing it by convention and stuff like that when you're doing.
Here, I think all of us, we are like sattvic sadhakas only. Our natural instinct only will stop us from going into rajasic or tamasic shraddha kind of thing. Just look back where all of us, any one of us, I don't think so, we have followed any that type of tantric to trouble others and do some pujas, bhoot and aghori practices, they say, no? I don't think so any one of us over here who are on the path of learning Bhagavad Gita must be practicing any of these things. Jai Gurudev.
But in the last line, you know, they say, you know, but generally most people who are committed to specific results of prayers that are offered to these devatas are generally given to Rajasika or Tamasika worship. Even for devatas, there is, you know, if we are doing it for our own wellness, like within the samsara, like you want to gain some, you know, name, fame, things like that, if they do, that is also Rajasic. That's my understanding. So I'm not sure. That's why I wanted to ask you guys, see what you guys think.
Yeah, maybe all of us we have wanted one or the other time. No, let me get good marks. Let my luck also work. I have studied hard, but luck also should be there. Let me get a good life partner, and different ways we pray. No, I think that is all. Yeah, maybe some percentage of rajasic this thing is there, because give and take kind of thing. I am praying to you, so you give me this kind of. But somewhere it starts this way, and then slowly you go up on the ladder, where just the knowledge and wisdom. The prayer is only to gain the knowledge and the ultimate wisdom. That should be the goal, and it happens step by step.
Mataji, I can't hear you very well. Can you speak up a little bit?
What I said, that all of us also, when we were studying, we had put our 100%, and then we prayed also to the different gods, whichever we had, family deities or somebody, that let the luck also be with me so that I get the admission in the best college. let the luck be with me so that I get a good life partner. Let me have a good children. All these things were there. No, all the wishes and the desires were there. And we have prayed to different gods, our family deities, and here and there, to have a good sansaric comforts also. But these things, as even in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan has said, no, do your prescribed karma 100% with the yajna bhava. So with that touch of yajna bhav, your desires and your karmas also are purified. And for a sansari
But this
purush,
comes under, but all these, when you're doing it with a specific end in sight, that comes under Rajasic. All the sattvic um, things that come under sattvika shraddha come under those where you're doing it only for purification of your mind.
yeah,
Yeah.
it leads to that only. Definitely, it leads to that. But somewhere we have also started like this only, na? Praying to the gods and everything.
We still do, like with we have some
Correct.
desire, some vanity, and that like, say for example, somebody ill, oh, make sure they get better. We pray for them. So the sattvic guna is like when you're doing for others, like if you're doing prayer for other people, wellness or loga, that by health or whatever, what do you call that? You said samasta loka Sikino Bhavantu, like you are looking for that welfare of other people and the God without having the results in whatever the karma we are doing, we're not expecting any result. That becomes sattvic. But whenever we expect some result, then it becomes rajasic. So we have proud both
See,
sattvic and
correct,
rajasic. Yeah.
correct. Madhuri ji, what you said is right, where we do it with
Yeah.
the yajna bhav. But when you're doing it with yajna bhav, when you're doing it with a karma yoga attitude, although you set out with expecting some result, whatever the result is, you will take it.
Yeah,
So you're
correct.
not praying for a desired result. You're setting out your karma for a certain result, and then you
If
do
you
your
say the
100%,
yagna means it's like offering, is it what?
offering it to the divine. Yeah,
Okay. You're submitting results of the action to the God.
yeah,
That's about. Okay.
correct. So
Got it.
whatever the result comes, you will
Mhm.
accept it.
The
Correct.
prasada, you accept it.
Even for our pujas and yajnas, when we say it, it is officially announced, no, take a sankalpa and then surrender it, offer it to the divine, whichever is the best or the best for me, let it happen for me and for
Correct.
everybody. With that
Then,
prayer only,
supposing your intention is let these mantra chanting, let it purify my mind, let me think about the higher. If that is your intention, sankalpa, then it gets into the sattvic mode. Whereas if you have an intention and it is natural as a householder, you have a number of kind of wishes to fulfill. Your children to get married, to settle down, to have good studies, whatever. So when you take that, at that point, it is the Rajasic Shraddha. So I think this we maybe have to clear in our have this clarity in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Although we're doing it for it's because it's for a specific end, that becomes a Rajasic Shraddha at that point. It does not make you completely Rajas. That's why I had this question, whereas what happens in between? Is a person might be completely sattvic, completely tamasic, but somewhere in between, Rajas, that is where we're all there. There are a little mixture of here and there.
Yeah.
That is the whole process of our sadhana is to define us, make us more and more sattvic.
Yeah. That's basically where he says, like, you can change your mind to that. You don't have to be in the rajasic or tamasic character, right? I mean, you can move on to sattvic part.
Yeah, even if we don't have any personal sankalpas or family sankalpas, we say, okay, Gurudev, give me more opportunities for seva and let the seva happen through me. So that is also a kind of a sankalpa only, no? Desires.
Madhurji, even the goal Bhagavan is going to in front of you, we still be asking him instead of doing something else. That's how we are like trained, like our mind has to, that thought process has to be turned off, and then we have to think, okay, if I see Bhagavan, I don't ask anything, I'll just surrender to him. That's all we have to keep thinking about it, like that would be nice. Like, this thing is all like Nanaji was saying one WhatsApp message, right? I really wanted him to send it to me. I never heard that message before. It was really nice message. What did we think about? Yeah, it's really interesting to read this.
Yeah, we have so
I
many
think
good
the meaning of the shloka that Nana had shared yesterday was
No, I got the meaning, but yeah.
we wanted the Dina
Yeah.
Dina Pratna. I think without any desire, let me pray to you. Something like that it was.
Yeah.
Ultimately, everything is directed to the higher.
Right. And then when you're going, even that pranakali is like, I only want to think of you, nothing else. That somewhat Ajayrasanam or something like that he said. I kind of don't get all these Sanskrit words I'm trying
Anayasa Maranam. Because Anayasa Maranam is
Anayas,
very,
what is it? Anayasa Maranam.
Effortless step.
Okay. Got it. That's good. Anayasa.
Unending desires, demands.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to share about the Narsi Mehta. He had so much faith that all his homely or whatever responsibility he had, Bhagavan took care of his all responsibilities so effortlessly. I mean, that is
Who?
devotion. Narsim Mehta, he was a devotee of Lord Krishna.
Oh, okay.
Narsi Mehta, in Kali Yuga only. And he had so much devotion that his daughter's marriage, Kunwarbainu Mameru, it is called in Gujarati, it was taken care by Lord Vishnu himself. He came as so that much Shraddha we should have in Bhagavan, that he takes care of even our worldly things, whatever it may be. I think that devotion we need to have, that undying faith.
Yeah.
Which is true, but along with that, we should also have the discrimination to do what is to be done. Like they say, God helps only those who help themselves. No? So there is an element of purusharth over there, an element of self effort and free will. So once you've done that and you've done your 100%, and there is still, still the end is not inside. Then that is where you surrender. That is when you of course have faith throughout. Faith is there throughout, but doing what you have to do, then you let go, isn't it? Otherwise,
Yeah, very true.
It is like, okay, I have faith in Lord. He's going to take care of all my needs. I'll only be devoted to Him. And it's like there's one Bhashitami also. Suptasya simhasya na kopi data. There is no one, a sleeping lion will not be fed. He has to go and hunt for his food.
That is
He
true.
will not say, because I am the lion, the king of the forest, my food will come to me. So that self-effort we have to do, that discrimination we should have, and then let go. Having faith.
Yeah, definitely it's a combination of the devotion, Shraddha, and your effort put in there.
I think we should be wind up here, and one if you read the Shanti part. Unless anyone wants to share anything more.
No, Prabharaji, we have done. We are done.
You want to do the Shanti Pata and we will finish up.
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Krishnarpanamastu. Hari Om. Jai Guru.
Hari Om, Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev.
Dhanyavad everybody. Hari Om. Jai
Thank you so
Gurudev.
Get well
much.
soon, Bela. Get well soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Dhanyavad Brahmaraji.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Mara.
Thank you, Dr. Mara.
Thank you,
You're
Dr.
very
Brahmaraji.
welcome. I'm very pleasure. You both get better soon and